Vampires kind of came out of the coffin 2 years ago, or 2 years before the show takes place, and basically said, yes, we do exist and we've been around for a very long time, and now we want to mainstream. We want to live with you guys, you humans. And the show basically takes place in Louisiana, in a small town outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. And you follow these characters out there in this little town and how they interact with the vampires that are now living among them. For Eric, at least season 3 is it's about revenge for Eric. You find out early on that something happened a long time ago that he's not over this yet, and suddenly he's presented with an opportunity to kind of avenge someone. This is always tricky because I don't want to reveal too much, but that's kind of his. There's a lot going on in season 3, but that's kind of my character's arc in the next season. Well, I think in a way you saw that in season 2 already. Season 1 was basically just for Eric, just kind of an introduction. You know, he's just there. Definitely, a lot of people saw him as a villain after season 1, and I would always have to defend Eric because I thought that there was more to him than that. And season 2 was great because it was an opportunity to show that he can actually be quite loyal and compassionate, and somewhere deep down there are feelings and love for his maker Godric and his daughter Pam. Even though they have a very interesting relationship, there is actually love there, and you see more of that in season 3 as well. And he's not a softie. He's never going to get. He's not going to be like your typical good guy. But I think that's interesting because it's always, I would never want to play someone who's just a good guy or someone who's just the villain, the bad guy, because they will never feel real because no one is like that. For it to be interesting, there's got to be the duality, the inner conflict with good and bad. And I definitely think that Eric has that. In season 1, you don't really get to know Eric, and season 2 is the first time where you actually, like I said, there's more to him than just being Bill's boss and the villain, And it's also good that, because I know a lot of people they want to label Eric as, a character, and they want to, a lot of them label Eric as, oh, he's the bad guy. And hopefully some of them had a kind of, when they watch season 2, there's that can create something interesting when someone they thought was just like, oh, this is a bad guy, this is a guy we're supposed to hate. And then you're like, oh man, I actually understand him now, and I kind of almost feel for him, and that can create something interesting within the member of the audience who watches it. Is there any chance? Yes? There's a lot going on in season 3, and Eric is intrigued by Sookie, and he's trying to kind of figure out who and what she is, and of course he's going to pursue that, but he's also a little preoccupied with this whole vengeance thing.